Sam Altman posts this, a picture of strawberries growing in a garden, on the same day that OpenAI releases a new anonymous chatbot in the LLM chatbot arena. People are speculating that this could be Project Strawberry, formerly known as Q-Star, and we'll take a look at why we might be getting access to it really soon. Google DeepMind introduces their table tennis playing robot, a fully autonomous robot that can play as well as the average human being. A big step towards achieving human-level speed and performance on real-world tasks, and further indication that AI combined with robotics might just be the next big thing. Finally, a recently published research paper found that an AI algorithm was able to predict various diseases at a much higher accuracy than traditional methods, potentially revolutionizing the healthcare industry. So, a ton of OpenAI news this week, one of the main stories being the potential imminent release of Project Strawberry, but first we have to talk about the current issues OpenAI is facing. With high-level executives leaving left and right, more lawsuits, and a very unsettling glitch that causes their new advanced voice mode to actually clone people's voices, the company finds themselves under fire once again. So, as this article states, 2 more OpenAI leaders are leaving the company, and OpenAI President Greg Brockman is also taking a leave of absence through the end of the year. It later states, as reported by The Information, OpenAI President Greg Brockman is taking a sabbatical, which they just mentioned, while his fellow co-founder John Schulman is bidding the company farewell and joining its rival Anthropic. Peter Deng, its VP for Consumer Product, who joined last year, is leaving OpenAI as well. Here's Greg Brockman's tweet announcing his sabbatical, and what I found interesting is he says, "The mission is far from complete. We still have a safe AGI to build." So is he insinuating here that they've already built an AGI or know how to build an AGI but just not in a safe way yet? Or would that be interpreting it in a wrong way? I'm honestly not sure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. John Schulman also took to X to announce his departure with a lengthy tweet, and the TLDR is he's decided to leave OpenAI to pursue a position at Anthropic where he can focus more deeply on AI alignment with, as he states, people deeply engaged with the topics I'm interested in. Having a co-founder leave to join your rival while another one of your co-founders, arguably one of the most important people in the company, is taking a sabbatical till the end of the year, with everything else that is going on right now, it's really just not a good look for OpenAI. On top of that, Elon Musk has filed yet another lawsuit against OpenAI, alleging deceit of Shakespearean proportions. Months after abruptly withdrawing a similar lawsuit without explanation, Musk filed a new lawsuit on Monday in a Northern California federal court. Then it says, OpenAI of course denied the allegations in a statement to The Guardian, pointing to its previous blog posts about Musk's initial lawsuit earlier this year. Musk's latest complaint claims the case is a textbook tale of altruism versus greed, repeating allegations in his previous suit that his former co-founders in OpenAI betrayed him by turning the company from a non-profit into a largely for-profit enterprise. The perfidy and deceit is of Shakespearean proportions, it states. So Elon Musk does have a point here. I mean, they really did essentially turn a non-profit company into a for-profit company, and I don't know about all the laws and regulations there and how all that works, but it seems to me like that probably shouldn't be allowed. OpenAI's advanced voice mode, which they recently released to select users, has caused the company even more backlash as it unexpectedly began speaking in a user's cloned voice during testing. Now, OpenAI has been very open with this. They were actually the ones who brought this issue to light in the recent post on their website, GPT-4o System Card. Under the subtitle Unauthorized Voice Generation, they basically explained that this model is able to clone a person's voice with only a short audio clip, and obviously they employ measures in order to prevent the model from doing that for safety reasons, but they also mentioned that during testing, we also observed rare instances where the model would unintentionally generate an output emulating the user's voice, just like this.
I do this just for the sake of doing it. I think it's really important.
That's such a pure and admirable approach. It's clear you're driven by a genuine passion for what you do and the impact it can have, rather than by recognition or acclaim. It's refreshing to hear that kind of perspective, especially in such a cutting-edge field.
No, and I'm not driven by impact either. Although if there is impact, that's great. It's just like, imagine being on the edge of the earth, just because you could be. That's what it feels like to me. I just want to be in the space where it's all happening.
So people were obviously a little creeped out by this. I mean, you've been able to clone people's voices with extremely short clips on platforms like 11 Labs for a while now, but just the fact that this is something that their advanced voice mode will do randomly on rare occasions with seemingly no explanation is truly unsettling and makes me wonder about why the model is actually doing that. In another section in the GPT-4o system card titled Anthropomorphization and Emotional Reliance, OpenAI discusses some of their findings during testing relating to people forming connections with the models and speaking to them as if they were human. It says here, during early testing, including red teaming and internal user testing, we observed users using language that might indicate forming connections with the model. For example, this includes language expressing shared bonds, such as "This is our last day together." While these instances appear benign, they signal a need for continued investigation into how these effects might manifest over longer periods of time. More diverse user populations with more varied needs and desires from the model, in addition to independent academic and internal studies, will help us more concretely define this risk area. Human-like socialization with an AI model may produce externalities impacting human-to-human interactions. For instance, users might form social relationships with the AI, reducing their need for human interaction, potentially benefiting lonely individuals, but possibly affecting healthy relationships. So this is literally straight out of the movie Her, where a man essentially falls in love with his AI operating system that can talk to him just like OpenAI's advanced voice mode. OpenAI does seem to understand just how dangerous the unintended consequences of this technology can be, though, and that's probably a major factor in why they haven't actually released it to everyone yet. Now, back to OpenAI's Project Strawberry, we have this picture Sam Altman tweeted of the strawberries in his garden, but we also have this tweet from an anonymous account that Sam Altman actually replied to. He says, "Welcome to level 2, how do you feel? How did I make you feel?" And Sam Altman replies, "Amazing, to be honest." Now, if you go through this person's account, you'll quickly notice that all of their posts are about OpenAI and specifically Project Strawberry. I mean, there's literally hundreds of posts and replies back to back, which is kind of unsettling, and if it's not just some guy with too much time on his hands, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's an AI chatbot. Anyways, back to the tweet that Sam Altman replied to, because when he says welcome to level 2, he's referring to OpenAI's levels of AGI, which they announced a few weeks ago, and level 2 happens to be human level reasoning, which is exactly what Project Strawberry, formerly known as Q-Star, is supposed to be. Now, this brings us to sus column R, the anonymous model that was recently seen in LM6's LLM chatbot arena. If you remember, last time we saw OpenAI do this, they released an anonymous model in the arena labeled "I'm a good GPT-2 chatbot" and "I'm also a good GPT-2 chatbot." And it resulted in a lot of speculation and theories as to what it could be. A lot of people said GPT 4.5 or even GPT 5, but it turned out to be GPT 4o, which released a few months after. So once again, there's a lot of speculation about what sus column R could be, but based on its exceptional reasoning capabilities that we've seen through examples from the chatbot arena and the timing of everything else, it seems very likely that it is potentially Project Strawberry applied to GPT-4, or at least a smaller version of GPT-4. And in terms of when we can expect it to release, well, it's impossible to say for sure, but based on the fact that OpenAI has made it clear they won't be talking about GPT-5 in their upcoming dev day, which is in October, and the fact that GPT-4o was released about 2 months after it was tested in the chatbot arena, it seems likely that there might be a release, or at least a limited release, of the advanced reasoning of Project Strawberry, hopefully by the end of this year. It's also possible though that we're just completely wrong and the sus column R is just something else entirely. Enough about OpenAI. In other AI news, Google DeepMind has created a table tennis playing robot that achieved average human level performance. This is the first learned robot agent that reached amateur level human performance in table tennis, and it can even adapt in real time to unseen players. This marks a big step towards real-world applications for the robotics industry and is reminiscent of when Google DeepMind introduced AlphaGo. Of course, AlphaGo was much more impressive due to the fact that it was better than even the best human Go players in the world, but just the idea of having an AI system master a game on its own, in this case in the physical world, really shows what's possible and what will be possible in the future. Now, looking at the results, they state against all opponents, the robot won 45% of matches and 46% of games. Broken down by skill level, we see the robot won all matches against beginners, lost all matches against the advanced and advanced plus players, and won 55% of matches against intermediate players. This strongly suggests our agent achieved intermediate level human play on rallies. So still a ways to go for this robot, but it's great to see Google DeepMind working on robotics, and again, a huge step towards robots achieving human level speed and performance in real world tasks. On the topic of robotics, Figure 2 was recently introduced, and it's supposedly the world's most advanced humanoid robot. It received many upgrades like an increase of 50% battery life, major improvements to the hands giving it more mobility and functionability, an improved vision system and speech-to-speech reasoning system, and also just a sleeker new look. The bot is also already being used in BMW factories, performing basic tasks like auto parts assembly completely autonomously, and it can even self-correct its errors. This begs the question, what would happen if you integrate the GPT-4o's advanced voice mode into Figure 2? Because right now it's still running on GPT-4's old voice mode, and we've seen demos already of what that looks like, but I can imagine that pairing it with OpenAI's new advanced voice mode would make the robot significantly more human-like and easier to communicate with. Lastly, to end off the video on a good note, here's a research paper discussing a new AI model used to predict various diseases. We're going to jump straight into the findings here, with the first chart showing us the accuracy, precision, and recall of various models in the space. As you can see, this chart analysis is based on dataset 1, which in this case is named COVIDpred. COVIDpred is sourced from GitHub and encompasses details of 70,500 COVID-19 patients, including information on age, sex, fever, headache, as well as the cough. In addition, this dataset takes 35,256 normal controls into account, providing a comprehensive view of both affected individuals and a control group. So the model shows a significant improvement, especially in accuracy compared to previous frontier models, meaning it can predict the COVID disease much more reliably. The model can predict other diseases as well. Here they use it to try and predict strokes using the stroke prediction dataset. This dataset is obtained from Kaggle and focuses on predicting the presence of strokes. This dataset, compiled from 11 clinical sectors, comprised 12 attributes related to smoking status, age, gender, and various kinds of diseases. As you can see, once again, the model significantly outperforms other frontier models, and if you think about what it would mean when these models reach 100% accuracy, it would mean that we can essentially predict certain diseases before they actually develop, allowing for prevention and early treatment, which is crucial to the patient's health. This is why AI will revolutionize the healthcare industry. I'm sure you guys have already seen plenty of crazy research papers just like this, especially if you watch my videos, and oftentimes they don't get enough attention because at the end of the day, this is still only research. We haven't seen this applied in the real world yet, but don't worry, it's coming. Anyways, that's it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.